What makes a strong illustration portfolio? What should you put in it? What should you leave out? How many images should be in your portfolio? And when will your illustration portfolio be ready to share with the world? If you're new here, I'm James, an illustration agent. I help illustrators build their careers. This is episode 2 of the Business of Illustration Essentials. I'm going to share my thoughts on different subjects here as concisely as I can so you get the basics and the essentials. I'll point to other videos and resources for more in-depth explanation and reasoning if you want to dive deeper. Check out the full playlist for more short videos like this. In episode 1, we talked about the functional parts of putting your portfolio website together. You can see that here. But what about the content? What should you be putting in your portfolio? The answer to that depends on what stage of your career you're at. So I'll start with what I think is best for brand new illustrators, and then we can look at how it evolves over time. If you're just out of college or you're new to illustration, chances are your work will be quite experimental. You'll be learning lots of new skills and techniques and software, and as you've been learning, you've probably been imitating different styles that you like, trying to work out how other illustrators get the look that they get. All of that is totally fine and normal for a beginner. It's an important part of the process. But when you reach a point where you want to find clients to pay you to be an illustrator, the portfolio needs to be a little bit more focused, less experimental, a more consistent style, and definitely no copies of other artists' work. The experimental stage is important, and it takes time. Taking what you've learned from all those experiments and turning it into something that's more uniquely yours also takes time. So there's no point trying to rush through it. These are important steps along the way, and hopefully you'll enjoy doing it. If you don't, what are you doing here? The experimentation doesn't stop at this point though. The only difference is you don't show the experiments in a professional illustration portfolio, not until you've got some positive results from those experiments. For the purpose of this video, let's imagine you've done the work to get through those stages and you have the foundations of a style that you feel comfortable with and that you want to develop more long term. You think it's pretty unique and you want to see if clients will pay you to do more of it. You're committing to it, basically. It doesn't mean it won't change over time, because it will, but for now, you want to work in this style. The first step is to apply your style to different subjects. You might have 3 or 4 illustrations in this style that you're happy with, but that's not enough for a whole portfolio. So you've got to expand the range of what you can offer so you can appeal to different kinds of clients. If you're a big fan of food, like I am, your first 3 or 4 illustrations in this style might be of food. Pastries, cakes, fruit, vegetables, etc. That's great. That means you have something to offer a client who's interested in commissioning food illustrations. You can tick the subject of food off your list for now. But what about all the clients who aren't interested in food illustrations? If you want a shot of working with them too, you better offer some other subjects that other kinds of clients are looking for. The reason I recommend doing it this way is that applying your style to a broad range of subjects that will appeal to lots of different kinds of clients gives you a better chance of finding paid illustration work. Any paid illustration work. You might have a specific plan of which area of illustration that you want to go into. Children's books, for example, and that's fine, but it might take you a while to reach that goal. Why not get paid to do other kinds of illustration work along the way? If your portfolio is only focused on children's publishing, you'll miss out on all those other opportunities because you're not showing other clients anything they want. For a beginner, it makes sense to keep an open mind and have a portfolio with a broad appeal. You can specialize later once you're making a living. So you've got food ticked off your list in your new style. What's next? Well, we're not picking subjects randomly or based on what you're interested in. We're picking them based on what clients hire illustrators for regularly. This portfolio isn't for you. It's about getting clients to hire you. Injecting your interests and personality into your work is important, but you are just one person and your interests may not align with what the broader creative market wants. Remember, this version 1 of your portfolio is about finding any paid illustration work as fast as possible. So give clients what they're looking for and what they want to pay for. And once you're making a living, you can niche down and be a bit more picky and personal. I encourage you to do your own research and make some notes of what things you see commonly being illustrated out there in the world. But there is a shortcut here. You can visit folioart.co.uk or illustrationx.com. Both of these illustration agencies have search categories that a client can look through to narrow down the kind of work they're looking for. They've chosen these categories because it's what their clients are looking to hire artists for regularly. So we've got subjects like travel, animals, beauty, food and drink, technology, maps, architecture, characters, finance, science, portraits. We've even got some seasonal things here, summer and winter. Now, imagine if you had a couple of illustration examples of each of these subjects in your style. That would be a very well-rounded portfolio that could attract clients from lots of different industries. You are ticking a lot of boxes there. If a tech client comes to your website, there's something for them. If a travel client lands on your portfolio, there's something for them too. You've got so many more chances to hook a client than if your portfolio was too narrowly focused. You'll notice some of those things listed on those agency websites aren't subjects in themselves. Editorial, book covers, advertising, packaging. They are descriptions of formats or different ways that illustration is going to be used. Under the editorial category, you can have all those different subjects. Same with advertising and book covers. A book cover could be about food, travel, romance, finance, science, psychology, whatever. So here's the next thing to think about as you build your portfolio. Add in a mix of different formats. You've got your list of subjects, and maybe some of them you'll illustrate as a book cover format. Maybe you think animals, travel, and science are going to work well for book covers. Book covers are pretty recognizable, similar shapes most of the time, with space for the title text and the author name. Then you think, okay, I'll make illustrations that look like advertisements for technology, finance, and a health and wellness theme. They could be social media ads or print ads or something you might see on the subway or on billboards. For editorial, you could do food, portraits, and maps. That could be the cover of a magazine or a double-page feature or a smaller spot illustration. So not only are you presenting a wide range of subjects that clients are looking for, you're also showing different kinds of clients from editorial, publishing, and advertising that you can work in the ways that they need. There's 3 parts here: subjects, formats, and industries. You show a range of subjects in a variety of formats, and you'll be able to work in lots of different industries. In version 1 of your portfolio, most or all of your work is going to be personal projects that you've made up yourself. But if you use this framework, you can make your portfolio look like the portfolio of a professional who has a varied freelance career. There's no magic number for how many illustrations you should have in your portfolio, but I would say 10 is probably not enough and 40 is probably too many. So let's say you aim for 25 images covering 8 to 12 different subjects, and in those subjects you've explored a handful of different formats. That sounds ideal. But it doesn't stop there. This is only version 1. Your portfolio will evolve over time as you add new work and take out older work that isn't the best you can do anymore. The more you practice, the better your skills will get. So some of the older work will look very old very quickly. Don't be scared to take out old pieces. Just make sure you're adding new work regularly. Once you're getting regular paid work, maybe you'll decide that you don't like working on technology or finance projects. You now have the freedom to be a bit more choosy in what you take on, so you can take out anything that you don't like working on and focus more on the subjects that you do like to illustrate. This is a very natural way to find your niche and your specialism. At the start, you might have an idea of what you think you might enjoy, but until you've tried it for real, you can't really know. So I encourage you to try lots of different things. Over time, you'll get to know what you enjoy the most, what clients want to hire you for the most, and what you're really good at. You don't need to specialize, ever, if you don't want to. You can work on all kinds of projects throughout your whole career, but if you find a niche along the way, that's great too. So remember, start broad because it will give you more chances to find your early paid work with a broad range of subjects, formats, and industries. Focus on establishing your career and paying your rent first, then you can specialize and niche down and steer your career in the way you want to go. If you want more videos like this, check out the Business of Illustration Essentials playlist. I'll be adding to it regularly. Here's another video on building and evolving an illustration portfolio. See you next time.